Welcome back from spring break. Today is Wednesday, April 14th. Believe it or not, we are already halfway through April. It's been a while since our last riddle, but if you can recall, Tess shared. I have cities but no houses. I have mountains but no trees. I have water but no fish. What am I? A map. Here's another riddle from Isabel Mendez. What is the most important ingredient in aged beef?
Hey Jones, what are you doing?
We're looking up at the sky. Do you know that today is National Look Up at the Sky Day?
No, I didn't. But I did know that today's National Dolphin Day. Maybe you can see some dolphins up there.
What are you talking about? There aren't dolphins in the sky.
I know, I was just trying to be funny because it's also International No One Blacks Day. Well, come on, let's go look for flying dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah!
We have many birthdays to announce because of our spring break, so happy birthday to James Spears Bracey, Tanner Chico, Alex Harris, Lauren Dietrich, Riley Elliott, Aiden Ferreira, Ian Tooney, Shepard Graham, Alexis Langford, Ben Wack, Caleb Mudenbog, Garrett Murphy, Ty Wynn, Brandon O'Donnell, Nathan Ogden, Garrett Piedmont, Clementine Sampson, Mackenzie Vance, Jordan Wickstrom, Cameron Yont, Social Studies teacher Mr. Guernsey, Math teacher Mr. Kelly, ELA teacher Mrs. Wilson, and paraeducator Sarah Rothwell. Happy birthday!
Our 7th grade math teacher, Mrs. Allen, has been on maternity leave since the beginning of March. She's at home enjoying being a mom to Chloe. Jones had the pleasure of catching up with her and maybe got to meet Chloe. Now here's Jones with Mrs. Allen.
Hey, Jones.
Hi. Thanks for meeting up to do this recording.
Oh, I'm glad to do it. Sounds fun.
How long did you live in Brazil?
I lived in Brazil most of my life, so 23 years. Yeah.
Cool. What was it like to grow up there?
It was fun. I lived in different parts of Brazil, and just like here in the US, your experience is very different depending where you live. So I would say if you grow up here in Washington, you probably had a very different experience of someone growing up in Florida, for example.
Definitely.
So for the most part, it was fun. I'm from a place that it's basically summer all year long. So there was a lot of summer activities. Yeah, there was a lot of summer activities all year long. So it was fun because we could always like count on going to the beach or doing something like that. And then when I moved to the southern part of the country, I experienced my first winter. You know, no snow, but colder weather and a more similar, I would say, lifestyle like here in Washington because we had the 4 seasons. So, yeah.
So why did you move to the U.S.?
I moved to the U.S. for 2 reasons. I got married to an American, so we decided to come back to the U.S., but also for school. I wasn't really sure when I was finishing school in Brazil what I wanted to do. And we were looking at options of where I could go to school and if my degree would transfer between countries if we wanted to go back to Brazil. So we decided to come back to the US.
How did you end up becoming a teacher?
That is a good question. I never thought about becoming a teacher ever until
Really?
I was halfway through college. Yes. Both my grandmothers, they are teachers, and I never really thought about. I went to school to become an engineer, and I like math. Surprise, surprise, I'm a math teacher, in physics and chemistry. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And in Brazil, colleges are a little different. You need to choose your major before you enroll. So I chose to be an industrial engineer. But halfway through, I realized I did not want to be an engineer, but I also had no idea what I wanted to do. So I was looking for an English certificate to be able to come to the US later. I was talking to my husband about moving here. And the English school that I talked to, they asked, hey, do you want to teach little kids English? And then we'll pay for you and for a certification. And I was like, yes. So I started teaching just as a side gig to make some money. And it was really, really an amazing experience. Yeah. And then after I was done with the semester, I realized it's like, oh, I think I know what I wanted to do. I really like teaching. I like working with youth and kids. So that's how it started my path to become a teacher.
Yeah. What did you like to do for fun in Brazil?
For fun, I would love to just walk in my hometown. I would love to just go for a stroll at the beach on the weekends and the end of the day. We are a very social culture, so just going out and going for a stroll, you meet like 5 different people that you know, and you just say hi and chat for a little bit. So I like traveling a lot, going to different beaches. That's kind of like the big thing on my part of the country there.
Yeah.
So I would say just like beach hopping and just doing like local travel. That was really fun.
So where exactly did you live in Brazil?
So I lived mainly in 2 places. I moved to other places, but not in South America, but not for very long. So I lived most of my life in a place called Recife. I'm gonna type to you in the chat. So there was I was born and where I grew up, and my family still lives there. That's where I spent most of my life. And then I also lived on the border with Uruguay in a very tiny little town called Santana do Livramento. And the Uruguay version of the town is called Rivera. And that's where I mostly lived.
Have you visited often now that you've moved to the US? Do you go back often?
Yes. So my family and I, we have a deal that they come every other year and I go every other year. So the last time I went was 2018. And then 2019, we had some kind of miscommunication and schedule problems with my family. So I didn't go, they didn't come. And then I had tickets to go last year. And you know what happens? So I have vouchers to go whenever it's safe again.
That's cool. It's nice that you get to go every once in a while
Yeah.
to see them.
Yeah,
What's
it's nice.
What's your favorite thing to do when you go there?
My favorite, well, now that I'm living so far away and I don't go as often, my favorite thing is just like to catch up with everyone, you know, my friends, my family, and just go to my family beach house. It's a place that I grew up and I spend every summer, which is in January and February down there. So I just love going there, catching up with people, eating all the food that I don't have here. So
What's your favorite food from Brazil?
my favorite food. This is a hard one. I feel that when I go there, I have like a menu of things that I want to eat to make sure that I won't miss it for very long. I think feijoada is my favorite one. It's kind of like a bean stew.
Yeah, my family actually has it every once in a while.
Yes, so it's my favorite one. I really like it. There's some traditional foods that are only from my area of Brazil. There's one called tapioca. That's not the tapioca pudding that we have here. When I say tapioca, people are like, really? I'm like, no, it's not the same. It's different,
No.
I promise.
At the bottom of boba?
Yeah, no. So it's very different. I can show you some pictures. So I really like tapioca too. And I think tapioca and feijoada are my favorite ones. The pizza too. Pizza is different. I love the pizza there.
What's different about the pizza?
So if you are my student, you probably heard some rants about the pizza. But
You said some things about it, but what's different about it?
I think it's just different flavors, and sometimes they just get too creative. So it's a lot of like white-based pizza and not as heavy on. We don't have ranch. I think the first time I ate ranch was actually in the US. So there's no ranch or that kind of like marinara sauce. It's just more white-based and other stuff. Thank you. That was fun.
Thanks, Jones. And here's a little more information about Brazil. South American country Brazil occupies half of the continent's landmass. It is the 5th largest country in the world. One of the world's most captivating places, Brazil is a country of powdery white sand beaches, verdant rainforests, and wild rhythm-filled metropolises. Brazil's attraction extend from frozen-in-time colonial towns to otherworldly landscapes of red rock canyons, thundering waterfalls, and coral-fringed tropical islands. There are countless places where you can spot iconic species in Brazil, including toucans, scarlet macaws, howler monkeys, capybara, pink dolphins, sea turtles, and thousands of other living species. Brazil's most famous celebration, Carnival, storms through the country's cities and towns with hip-shaking samba and frevo, dazzling costumes and parties that last until sunup. Wherever there's music, that carefree lust for life tends to appear whether dancing with cariocas at Rio's atmospheric samba clubs or following powerful drum beats through the streets of Salvador.
Soccer is the talk of the town wherever you are in Brazil, and the country is brimming with great teams and great players. Brazil is the most successful national team in the FIFA World Cup, being crowned winner 5 times. Brazil's most famous soccer player was Pelé. Throughout his history, its history, Brazil has welcomed several different peoples and practices. Brazil constitutes a melting pot of most diverse ethnic groups. In general, Brazilians are fun-loving people. Friendship and hospitality are highly praised traits, and family and social connections are strongly valued. To people they have met, or at least known by name, Brazilians are usually very open, friendly, and sometimes quiet and generous.
The official language of Brazil is Portuguese, spoken by the entire population except for a few very remote located tribes. Indeed, Brazil has had immigrants from all parts of the world for centuries, whose descendants now speak Portuguese as their mother tongue. English is not widely spoken except in some touristy areas. Almost the entire coast is lined with fabulous beaches, and the beach lifestyle is a big part of Brazilian culture. Nowhere is it truer than Rio de Janeiro, with its laid-back, flip-flop footed lifestyle and famous beaches like Ipanema and Copacabana. Beaches in other areas of the country may not have the instant name recognition, but are no less amazing.
Brazil's cuisine is as varied as its geography and culture. Brazil's national dish, the feijoada, a hearty stew made of black beans, pork, ears, knuckles, chops, and sausage, and beef, usually dried, is served with rice, garnished with collard greens, and sliced oranges. It's not served in every restaurant. The ones that typically mostly serve it on Wednesdays and Saturdays. A typical mistake made by tourists is to eat too much feijoada upon first encounter. This is a heavy dish. Even Brazilians eat it parsimoniously. Excellent seafood can be found in coastal towns, especially in the northeast. Brazilian snacks, lunches, sandwiches, and salgadinhos, mostly anything else, include a wide variety of pastries. Look for the coxinha, deep-fried batter-coated chicken, and empada, a tiny pie, not to be confused with the empanada. Empadas and empanadas are entirely different items. A pastel, fried turnovers. Another common snack is the quechi, a pressed toasted ham and cheese sandwich. Pojequijo, a roll made of manioc flour and cheese, is very popular. Cheek kissing is common in Brazil among women and between women and men. Handshaking is more appropriate for formal occasions or between women and men. When people first meet, they will kiss once, twice, or 3 times depending on where you are, alternating right and left cheeks. If you want to know more about Brazil, don't hesitate to ask Mrs. Allen. I'm sure she would love to share more about the country she's from.
Welcome to This Week in History. Although these first 2 events did not happen this week in history, it is still interesting. April 3rd, the Saturday before spring break, 1974, across America, many people wake up this morning thinking it will be a normal day. But in the next 24 hours, almost 150 tornadoes will hit the United States. It will then be the largest tornado outbreak in the nation's history. April 8th, last Thursday, 1974, on a humid night in Atlanta, Hank Aaron is poised to make history. On the all-time home run leaderboard, Aaron is tied with the legendary Babe Ruth. With one swing of the bat, he can break Ruth's record, but not everyone in America wants to see this happen. The threats against Aaron's life have warranted FBI protection. Yet, in front of 54,000 people in Atlanta and millions more watching at home, Aaron steps up to bat. What is it like to be a black baseball superstar 25 years after Jackie Robinson broke the sport's color barrier? And what is the real story of threats, fear, and danger behind Aaron's record-breaking game? Now, to what happened in history this week. On April 13th, yesterday, 1997, Tiger Woods becomes the youngest ever golfer to win the Masters tournament. The then 21-year-old sportsman was also the first person of African heritage to win a major golf title. Tiger Woods is considered one of the most successful golfers of all time. Also on April 13th, yesterday, the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was copyrighted in 1990. On April 14th, today, 1986, the heaviest hailstones ever recorded hit Bangladesh. The lumps of ice weighed 2.2 pounds, and a total of 92 people died as a result. On April 18th, this Sunday, 1906, a massive earthquake destroyed San Francisco. About 3,000 people died in this disaster. Over 80% of the city was destroyed by the quake and resulting fires. Thank you for watching This Week in History.
On Friday, April 16th, is National Librarian Day. We would like to give a special shout out to Mrs. White. As our teacher librarian, Mrs. White always makes sure we have a variety of diverse books in our library available to everyone for their enjoyment. During this pandemic, Mrs. White has made sure that students could still check out library books. Not only does she take care of the library, but she also puts together the weekly Mustang messages. She tapes, edits the recordings, and complicates the chrono connection. We appreciate you, Mrs. White.
We hope everyone had a great spring break. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Mustang Message. And remember to always be compassionate and kind.
It's great to be a Mustang here at Thornton Marshall, where everybody belongs, everybody learns, and everyone grows.
Hey look, a flying dolphin!